Hello, my name is Jason Arfman. I am CEO and Managing Board Member here at 7K. And today we had the opportunity to sit down with the founding board of 7K and really talk to them about the history of how 7K started, how these gentlemen know each other, and really what we've done over the last several years to really make a great plan for succession and moving forward, and really to leave a legacy company in the long term. So some of the things you're going to hear is you're going to hear from different aspects of the different founders that are in this video. From the idea and the conception of 7K, to the funding of 7K, to the expertise and gathering of this amazing team to put together the best talent possible to really carry this team forward. And I'm so proud to be a part of this team. It's an amazing foundation to what we're looking forward to in the future. And 7K is set to really have a really bright future. It's set because of the foundation of what these founders have put together, and really what we've worked on over several years in putting together a plan for succession and really looking into the future. This business is ready and built for the long term. So grab a pen and paper, take notes, and learn more about the original founding members of 7K.
Wow, we've known each other for most of our entire lives. For the better part of 35 years, I've known these gentlemen, Roger Ball and Zach Davis. Roger, best friends with my grandfather, and the two of them have made up two of the greatest mentors I've known in the business world. I've had the opportunity to work together for the better part of 20 years on different projects around the world. Throughout that process, Zach and I actually met each other in high school. We grew up 5 miles apart from each other, went to high school together, and 20 years ago had the opportunity to start some business ventures together and work together. And truly, two of the greatest mentors I've ever been a part of.
You know, this community is a fairly small community. I knew Josh's grandfather, a very good friend, for a lot of years. I was aware of Josh probably when he was just in true sense, a boy. But as we grew, and I watched Josh, and we become involved in a number of businesses together, and have had a great time. I met Zach through Josh. We had a business, and Josh was managing that business, and he brought Zach on to work there, and that's really when I got to know Zach and seen his ability and the things that he could do. From there, we proceeded to do any number of other businesses. Had a great time. We got involved in some direct sales businesses together. I learned their capabilities and the things that they could do in that arena. I met Richard at an airport, spent some time with him. He ended up at a Salmon River Lodge at a promotion that we had in one of our companies, and that's where I really got to meet Richard and know Richard, and have been good friends ever since. And again, Richard is a direct sales person. That's his whole life. That's what he does. So when you look at us as a group, that's what we do. That's part of what we do. Some things that we do, and that's how we got to know each other in a real sense.
So Josh and I actually went to high school together, and so we knew each other in high school, and then years later, we ended up doing some business together, and we had a lot of fun. I met Roger actually through that business, and he's become a great mentor and a friend to me through that. You know, Richard in that business actually flew out to take a look at what we were doing, and I remember the first time I met Richard. I think everybody remembers the first time they meet Richard, because Richard dumped 20 1/10 ounce gold coins in my hand. And I'd never held any gold coins in my hand before, and it was impactful. He put his hand out and he said, "Hi, my name's Richard, what's yours?" And ever since then, 2011, we've been good friends and kept in contact, and now we are building this awesome company, 7K Metals, and that's kind of how I met Richard.
I got a phone call from Josh's grandfather, Tom Mitchell, and he invited me out to Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I love Idaho Falls. And so I came out here and I immediately called up my good friend Roger Ball. I asked what was the latest, what's going on. He was moving some furniture for his sweetheart, Marcia, I went over to the house. I helped him move the furniture. We went out to the Lemhi Buffalo Ranch. We were just having a great time. I asked him if he was working on any projects, and he shared with me something he was working on. But he didn't know at the same time I was working on his gold and silver company, and I was putting that together. But me being the salesman, I was not there working it because they were still putting together the programming. And so in the process, I hung around Idaho Falls, Idaho for a week or so, and the company I was working on in the gold and silver crashed and burned. So I had no more company. I was sitting at the desk. Roger walked into the building, and he said he would like to talk to me. I went into his office. He had his hands folded, and he said, "Richard, love, hate." And I said, "Love, hate what?" And he said, I hate network marketing, the overpriced products, the prima donnas, the complicated marketing plans, the breakage that's involved." And he said to me, "I love it though." And I said, "What do you mean?" And he said to me, "Richard," he said, "you and I, we start a company, we sell gold and silver, and we do it right." And when he said that, I was speechless. And the reason I was speechless is because I call it the modern day miracle. Because less than an hour before Roger approached me, he had no idea that my gold and silver company had crashed and burned. It had failed. I was out of business. And I was sitting there saying, "God Almighty, how can I resurrect this company?" And Roger walked in and said, "Richard, you and I start a company selling gold and silver, and we do it right. We fix the problems in the industry." And I said, "Roger, I've got the fix." I clearly, boldly said to him, we cannot do it without the brilliance of Joshua Wayne Anderson and Zachary J. Davis. And Roger said, "Put together a meeting." I called him up. We met at the Rusty Lantern the next day, and here we are today, 7K Metals. With my 40 years in this industry, I'm here to boldly and clearly tell you it's the greatest company ever. Why? Because of the core values. Because our product's not as good as gold, it is gold. Because of our residual income, which is the incredible coin of the month, the autosaver. And the residual and the weekly pay and the way we post sales. And so here we are today. To God be the glory. This is the miracle team. The four of us are divinely working together to take this around the world, to be a blessing to everybody.
I was actually in the truck with my family, headed out on a weekend vacation. I got a phone call from Richard, and we'd kept contact over the last several years from the last time we'd done a project. And I knew Richard had been looking for different projects to work on, and we'd been working on some other traditional businesses and hadn't done a whole lot in the referral marketing space because of some of the frustrations that were there. A little bit of burnout and things. Want to take a break. And Richard called and he said, "I think I've fixed it." I said, "Richard, what'd you fix?" And he said, "How many times have you stood on a stage and promised people they'd be successful? And how many times did you know that the product that you were selling or the compensation structure that was being used was not good for the average person?" I said, "Richard, it's been every time. But yet there's so many wonderful things about this industry." And Richard said, "I think I fixed it. We're going to sell gold and silver, and we're going to do it with this compensation structure, and it's going to work." And I was intrigued enough at that moment because Richard had been saying we need to do gold and silver for years, right? And I couldn't see it. And then so we finally got together after we got back from our camping trip, and I sat down and we looked at it, and I said, "You know what, Richard? This is something that could really work. This could change the way this space operates. This could really level the playing field so that all the promises that we give to people out there in the world about how you can be successful here, if we did it this way, it would actually really work, and we could actually change people's lives." And we were having fun, taking a little break, and but there was something missing, right? That we needed to get back in and help people out and change people's lives. And so we jumped in, we took a look at this company, and there was a few issues right at the very beginning that we looked at and said, "Well, I don't know about selling gold and silver bullion and how this is going to work." And we looked at that collectible coin and said, you know what, this is where we can really bless people's lives, is that collectible, because those things have the potential to increase in value. I don't know anybody who doesn't want to just stack on stack gold and silver in their garage, right? This is something that we looked at and said, you know what, I'm not going to be afraid to call anybody. I even call my own mother and say, hey, you need to buy some gold and silver. And so that's what got me excited about wanting to get involved with Richard in the project that he was putting together, and to be able to help him build this dream. Is I knew it was going to change thousands of people's, millions of people's lives based on the way we were going to pay people and also the product that we were going to give people.
When Richard called me that day, I likewise was leaving town, Zach. Richard came over and saw me in the driveway, hooked up to the fifth wheel, and he drew some circles, like all networkers, drew some circles on a box, and he said to me something I'll never forget. He said, "Josh, I fixed it." He said, "I found a way for the non-professional to make above average income." And I said, "Richard, I'm in a hurry. I'm leaving, but let's get together on Tuesday." I drove for the next 2 hours to our location, and all I could think about was this idea of the non-professional making above average income. Nobody had ever said that to me in this space. Everyone has always come to me and said, "Do you want to make another $1 million a month? Do you want to help somebody else make another $1 million a month?" Nobody had ever led with the non-professional. And that rang in my ears for that entire Labor Day weekend, Richard. And when we got together that Tuesday and we sat down, said, let's look at how we can do it. And I was kind of like Zach. I thought, wow, what if we did it with gold and silver? What if we gave somebody a real tangible asset? What if we actually gave them something of value? This industry, a lot of times I've had to hide behind the products or kind of be ashamed of maybe what we were selling. But that wasn't going to be the case with gold and silver. And I'll never forget the day that Richard laid the first collectible coin on the conference room table. I had never held one. I had never looked at one. I definitely hadn't done the market research to know about them. But I was intrigued. We spent the next few days studying that industry intensely and realized that here was an industry that there was no cohesive sales arm in the world selling them. It was an industry ripe for disruption. Richard had to fly back home, and Zach and I got together, and we actually said that night, we sat at that same conference room table with that same coin sitting there and said, wow, here's an industry ripe for disruption. Our exact words. And all these years later, now we've kind of taken over the space. It was ripe for disruption. And it's kind of fun to take this dream and this idea that this group had and made a reality. So.
And one of the unique things about this is when you're in this space, usually you think about building an army that's going to go out and move a product. And what you know is, as that army goes out and moves that product, you're going to do very, very well. And in a lot of companies, you know that there's some people that aren't going to do as well, and that's how they work. But the thing I think that excited us the most was we knew that as we built an army of people that were going to go out and share this message, that they were going to be getting a product of value, and the product they were giving somebody else was a product of value, and that there was going to be a ton of people who were going to be blessed by going out and sharing this message.
You know, I walked down to Richard's office because I got sick and tired of having him tell me about his idea. and an idea is not worth anything until you do something with it. And I'll be honest, Richard, I just got tired of it, as all of us did. And as I sat and thought about that, when you came to work that week, and I thought about gold and silver, and I could see the windows that were opening in the world with our currency and all these things. And I was just impressed to think that this was an industry like all of us did, that had a future. It was unique, totally unique. And what I loved about it was that we could start this company, and as we've all said, try to do it right. Get rid of the things that we did not like about direct sales. And so I just said, Richard, it's time. Quit talking about it. I'm tired of this. Let's get doing it. And so we proceeded to do that. There were some problems we had to solve, immediately, and there always is. But I've been involved in direct sales since 1976. Wrote a marketing program at that time for my sister that was very successful. and watched some other companies that we got involved with be very successful. There is not a more powerful marketing tool than direct sales on this earth. The power that is in that program, in that concept, can almost blow your mind if you have experience with it and actually analyze it. And I've been involved in a lot of businesses, and I am addicted. Once you have successes in things, they don't go away, they haunt you. And this project haunted me. And so I signed up here and we got together and did this thing, and I think we've been very successful. The uniqueness of each one of us sitting here on these chairs is quite a thing. We are unique, and every one of us has a different talent and a different ability, and we've mixed those together, and they've been very successful, and will continue to be successful. And then the people that we've brought on into this company, Jason, our now CEO, and Blake, and all these people. Companies are people, and we have a wonderful, wonderful staff. And that staff is going to grow, and it's going to grow with some of the finest people available on this earth to take this company throughout this earth. And there are so many people on this earth that need this company, who are poor, who have no hope, who are destitute, and we will work out a way of helping those people. Yes. That's my long-term goal. That's my why. And we'll do that.
Yes.
We got the brain power. We got we have all the tools. We have a wonderful toolbox. It is full of wonderful tools. You give us a nut, we'll pull the tool out and we will turn it. And it's happening every day.
So one of the major challenges that we face in this industry of referral marketing is the way people get paid. And it was one of the things that I was really excited about, and I think all of us were excited about when Richard brought this to our attention and said that he'd fixed it, was most of the time when you can get involved with a company, the commission structure is structured in a way that one or two people do really, really well. And they kind of walk away from everybody else. And it's really hard for everybody else to actually make an income, and especially residual income. But the concept that Richard had to put this commission structure together, I think was genius in the fact that as we built the rank advancement systems and the way that you actually moved up and you could earn money, is you couldn't leave people behind. You had to have other people become successful in order for you to become successful. You couldn't just walk away and become this high dollar earner and leave everybody else out there. You needed other people to be able to move with you, and they needed to be able to move up and earn money as you earn money. And so it really was a rising tide raises all boats, right? It wasn't this ego-driven commission structure where one person could make a lot of money. And that's a really big deal in this industry, right? That's how a lot of times it gets promoted. And the fact of the matter is we don't even have to promote it on the commission structure because the product is so dang good. People come in to get the product, they end up earning a little money and find out that they can help other people do it. And then pretty quick, they're moving up through the rank advancements and they're bringing other people along, and it's really people helping people.
Zach, we also came have a lot of challenges in the early days of the company. Entrepreneurs, they say about us that we are a bunch of idiots that just dive off the diving board head first. And we typically don't know if we're going to be able to swim or not once we hit the water.
That might be true, huh?
And unfortunately, when we started this company, there was a lot of things we didn't know. This was a new space for all of us. We weren't experts in gold and silver acquisition or in minting of coins or collecting coins or grading coins. We definitely didn't have the eye of the industry. We were a bunch of crazy home-based business guys who were trying to innovate in a space that had no innovation. And because of that, we ran into lots of hurdles. We didn't know, we had a hard time acquiring metal for a long time. We had a hard time getting them graded. The graders actually didn't want to participate with a network marketing company in the beginning. We also had some major challenges when it came to, we had some big visions. We wanted to mint our own coins. And we wanted to put our own logo on those coins. And if you ever thought about that in any depth, you'd probably realize pretty quickly that no mint wants to do business with these crazy home-based business models. But through a period of time, we pushed through all those challenges, and as the database grew, and as you helped us by continually buying your coin of the month, you gave us power. You made it so our voices no longer were weightless. They carried the full weight of a distributorship that was eager and active to buy. And more importantly, that we were creating thousands of new collectors a month, something that the space of coin collecting had never seen. And because of that, because of your power and your voice, we were able to take that to the marketplace and fix many of those challenges. And now it's amazing to all of us that all of the mints of the earth want to do business with us. All of the grading companies want to grade our coins. Everyone wants to participate in some form or fashion with 7K Metals in this space because we're the most rapidly growing database of new collectors on the earth. And so one of the things that we love about business is the opportunity to find problems and find solutions to them. And we can't wait to find the next problem and find the next solution here for all of you.
You know, my challenge in this business, when Richard came to me, my guarantee to him and my commitment was that this company would be financed. And there's always a tremendous amount of risk in that, especially in this space. And I would tell you that we weren't profitable the first month. We weren't profitable the first year. We weren't profitable the second year. We weren't profitable the third year. And, but we all had faith that the money we were spending was good money, that it would be returned, that we would be successful. And we don't quit. This group does not quit. And that is a result of 7K today. Good minds, sharp. I call them kids because to me they are kids. To me, even Richard's even a kid. And I've always been extremely impressed with this group right here. Enough to spend my money and gamble my money on the success of this company. And it's been a struggle, but it's been very, very well worth it. And everyone here with their talents and with their abilities has put that forth, and those things together has made us a real success. And we'll continue to do that and bless the lives of people here.
Yeah.
I've always said that relationships rule the world. And as you look here, you see relationships that are sound. Not that they're perfect. There's no relationship that's perfect. But when you look at this company and what happened to this company, it's almost amazing. Today we have the #1 direct sales attorney as our attorney. Have known him for how long? Years.
Long time.
I seen him when he got out of high school. We employed him. And we have relationships here that are long lasting. The people who take care of our credit cards and all those kinds of things. I remember I called a couple of young men that are probably the best in the world. Did we go see them? Did we go see them?
No.
They came to see us because of relationships. And when you look at that now, it's unbelievable.
Yes.
You know, what we've accomplished here just by who we know and the experiences that we've had in life. And we have the best. Look at Jason. I mean, we have the best. I would not know where to go hire or become involved with or get into a business with that have more ability. I really don't. What a blessing that we have here.
Yes.
You know, we started with this simple business model we call the product of value, which is the membership. And we all know that memberships have privileges. And so we were able to go and make available to the world the precious metals at a member direct price. And Josh, explain how this little common sense membership model has exploded into other areas.
Well, like anything, we start with this membership to buy gold and silver and to get a coin of the month. And like anything, when you start a business, you come across some challenges that you realize are major challenges the world needs solved. These are things that nobody else has been willing to tackle, but that they need tackled, they need fixed. Things like, where do I resell a collectible coin? I mean, you gotta think about that, right? Up until 2 years ago, there was nowhere in the world to sell one except for this little company out there that has an auction site online that's fraught with fraud. And so we looked at that landscape and said, we can do better. We owe it to our membership and to the world to do better. And so we took on the task with great partners, great software developers to fix that, and out of that came Stack and Sell, the first of its kind, really disruptive technology that allows buyers and sellers to transact gold and silver coins and collectibles in a safe, real, transparent environment. It's been a wild success in its first 18 months. Likewise, we looked around the world and we actually tried to sell gold and silver back to the suppliers. We tried to take some monster boxes. One time we overbought a large quantity of silver and we tried to send it back. We needed cash. And it was a giant hassle. It took weeks to get our cash. And we had to wait for the price to move, and it took massive amounts of time and effort and shipping. And we said, I think we deserve to do it better to our people. And out of that was a 4-year-long project to create something called Sound Money that all of you use every day. The first of its kind, an opportunity in a venue where people could buy gold and silver in a safe environment, have it stored in our vaults, fully insured, and then be able to have it instantly liquefied back into cash or fiat currency when needed. And if they so desired, transact in it. And I say that just because whenever you start a new business venture, you don't know what you don't know. And when you come across the challenges, somebody has to fix them. Thank goodness, as we've mentioned before, we have a great team of people. It's not just us. We just happen to be the 4 guys that got involved together. But we couldn't do it without all of the wonderful staff and people that make it a reality. And together, we are changing the world. And we're making a difference in this space that will be long-lasting for generations to come.
Yeah, when we started this, I don't think it was really just to sell a coin. That was kind of the beginning idea of selling gold and silver. But as we got into it and saw all these challenges and these different platforms started to become created to solve these problems, I think it's safe to say, gentlemen, our personalities are not to just stop at one thing, right? And just say, okay, check that little problem is solved, right? Because it's not really about just selling the coin, right? It's really about changing people's lives, and it's about the legacy. How long is this company going to be around? Well, it can only be around for a little while if all you do is figure out how to sell a little collectible coin and put your label on it. Right? But until you can solve all of these big questions that people have when they're buying gold and silver, I bless him, I love him, but I thought my grandpa was crazy because he panned and mined gold for years, and I wondered, what in the world what are you going to do with this stuff, right? And that's the one question that people always ask is, well, once I get it, what am I supposed to do with it? Well, that's a really big problem that the world has never solved in a really good way. I mean, we have all this technology, and as we searched out there was nobody that could give us a platform or rails to run on to solve these challenges. So we just said, well, if nobody's got it, we'll just build it. And if I wish we could tell you some of the people that are involved in this, they're some of the people that have helped solve some of these solutions that, by the way, wouldn't even take a phone call from us in the very beginning. They wouldn't even sell us a coin in the very beginning. And now all of a sudden they're involved because they see what we're trying to do. And it's not really just about selling gold and silver, right? It's about changing an industry, making it more efficient, helping people to be able to get that value, the real value out of gold and silver, and change people's lives. And we want to do this for years and years and years to come. We're not interested in just when we're ready to retire, hoping that the company goes on for a little ways and maybe it peters out. We want this to be around forever. We want our kids to be the beneficiaries, your kids, your grandkids, for generations to come. So we're not just going to stop. We're probably going to find another problem that we're going to solve, and it'll be a blessing to you. You'll have an opportunity to benefit from it, and we'll have a whole lot of fun doing it.
We talk about legacy. We talk about companies that last, in the term, I guess the only term you can really use there is forever, as long as it can last. We're serious about this. We have an operating agreement now that is, it's been developed that we're very, very solid. Right now, I'm 82 years old. I don't go to meetings anymore. My mind doesn't work as good as it used to. But, I've taken one of my daughters. She's taken my place. She goes to every meeting. And I promised these gentlemen here that at least from my benefit and from my part of this company, we will never be naive. we will always have someone who is, quote, quote, a stockholder who will know about this company, who will be actively engaged in it so that it does not go away. And that is a process that I personally have gone through. I know Richard's thinking about this. This transition from one level of management in age to another is an extremely, extremely dangerous thing. And we've got to be careful about that. We need to prepare for that, plan for that. We're doing all that in every way we know how. And so it's part of what we do. We don't think tomorrow. We don't look around the corner. We look way, way beyond that. We are dreamers. And people who have wonderful ideas. I've told these gentlemen, there will come a day when we won't have to have one idea. These people out here that are our associates in this company will have more ideas than we can begin to contemplate and work with. That's a beautiful thing here. You know how many people we have involved in this company that love it, that worry about it. They are throwing ideas, at least to me, and I'm sure all these gentlemen, more than you can almost handle. So the future out there is our trick here is to sort them out. You know, which ones are good, which ones are bad, which ones are we willing to hang our hat on, you know? And we see that every day, all the time. And we certainly are not afraid of hiring somebody that has the capacity and the desire and the will and the ability to do things in the world that have never been done before. And that's our goal. That's who we are. We change the world. You watch and see.
Like all great businesses, we've gone through recently the transition period where we've set up a board of directors. No longer does just the founders meet and make every decision. The company's now far beyond us. And so we've got together the brightest minds in the industry, and we are operated by a governing board of directors, of which the founding members get to appoint those members. And we've set that up in such a way that can last for generations to come, where good, sound businessmen and women will get together and be able to guide and direct the affairs of this business. One of the things that you can't be afraid of as an entrepreneur, you can't be afraid to allow the company to grow outside of you. Small-minded people and small businesses get stuck in making it about themselves. And the largest companies and organizations in the world are willing to go out there and find brighter minds than them, people who can advance it far beyond them. And we've set that structure up now. We're still all very involved on a daily basis right now. We built a structure that can last long beyond us, because 7K Metals isn't us. 7K Metals is really you. You're the ones out there that make the sales every day and to move it forward. You're the ones that earn the commissions and take those and change your life. And so what we can share with you is that we've built a structure that can last long beyond the four of us.
You know, this industry is my life for 40 years and been very, very successful in several companies. And I would just like to, with real boldness, make a statement that I know is true. I would say underline it a couple of times, highlight it in yellow, put exclamation points. 7K Metals has the greatest people in this industry. People of integrity, people with work ethics, people of character, family values. I see how people help one another, work together. It's just the greatest team of people I've ever seen in my 40 years. And so my thumbs are up to you, the greatest in the industry. Our success is because of you out there in the field, morning, noon, and night, in the trenches. Your sleeves are rolled up. You've got your perspiration on your forehead. You're in the marketplace. You're a product of the product. You're talking to people at opportune moments. But you're doing it loving one another and caring about one another. And so I just want to say thank you to the sales force out there with 7K Metals.
You know, when you talk about the future of 7K Metals, I get to have a unique perspective. I get the opportunity on a daily basis to talk to the largest companies in the world about us and about you. And in that perspective, I was recently on a call with a company that every one of us uses every day in the entire globe. And when you have their CEO say to you, wow, you guys are doing something that the entire world will use one day, it makes you stop and pause. It makes you reflect back on the last 5.5 years and realize that from these humble beginnings, from these humble ideas, we really have changed the world. But we're just getting started. When they say to us things like, wow, you might actually wipe out poverty in some of these nations, it's a pretty powerful thing. I recently had the opportunity to stand on a beautiful mountain as the sun came up, and I got to see in the vista, I could see more than 1,000 mountain peaks, more than 1,000, far as the eye could see. And the thought came to me, this is what 7K is. It's an endless opportunity for tens of thousands, if not millions of households around the world to have a brighter day. Where are we going? We're going to change the world.
So it's fun to talk about what we've become so far and where we've come from and the different things that we've been able to do. You talk about Sound Money, you talk about Stack and Sell. We didn't even know those companies were going to exist when we began. But what's really fun, in my opinion, is to think about what's coming. And it's because of what you guys are doing. We wouldn't have a Stack and Sell. We wouldn't have a Sound Money without you guys and the effort that you're putting in there and the way that you're changing other people's lives. And so when you start thinking about the future and what's possible, it's unbelievable because we have changed already 2 industries completely. And there are going to be many, many more opportunities that are going to be brought to us, different challenges that we're going to face, different problems that are going to rise that we're going to see, that we can say, hey, you know what, we can move the needle over here. We can make a difference for other people in this segment if we go out and we solve this problem. And so we're going to keep moving forward, solving problems. We're going to keep looking for challenges, and we're going to keep surrounding ourselves with good people and bright minds that are going to help us solve those challenges. But the number one thing I really think is important to stress and reiterate is there is no way that we could do this. There'd be no reason to do this without you guys and without the effort that you guys are putting in. And we see the every week when the commissions post, it is really fun to go down through and look at those names and see the commissions that people are earning. And it's not because of the money. It's because a lot of you we know personally, right? And we've had lots of interactions with you. And we've played and we've vacationed together and we've sweat together and we've worked and it's the stories of every single person that has already been blessed by this company because of the message that you've shared. And there are people all over the globe who are hurting, that are in poverty, that are desperate for a solution, and they're just waiting for this message to hit them. And we're tackling the challenges as fast as we possibly can to help get that message internationally and get it to the people all around the world. So we're not going to stop where we are. We're not tired. We're hungry for more. And we want you guys to go with us. And we want you to continue to help us bless the lives of people all around the world. And in so doing, your lives are going to be richly blessed. So thank you all for everything that you're doing.
When we were at our first national convention, I would stand up and look at all of those people, and I would wonder if they knew who they were. I'd look at them and I'd say, I wonder if these people really know who they are, what their challenges is, what their responsibilities are. That's you people out there. We have a tremendous dream here, and without you, we cannot do that. You've got to know that you have a responsibility to see that this dream happens all over this world. That is as much your challenge as it is our challenge. That's what you're up to. That's what we're up to help our brothers and sisters on this earth. And it's going to take all of us. And it's all of our responsibilities to accomplish that. You have a mandate. I hate to even use that strong a term, but you out there in this company have a mandate to do and be successful in this company so that we can bless the lives of people all over this world. We haven't even started. We just went into Mexico, for Pete's sake. There are, oh, what a challenge. But believe me, you people out there that are involved in this company, you have it. We cannot do this without you. You have a mandate. And together we can change this world and bring a lot of good things to a lot of good people. And, I see Russia and Ukraine in a battle right now. I've lived in both of those countries, learned to love those people. It breaks my heart to see them at war one with another. And I know their poverty. I know their challenges because I live physically with them. We have a mandate. And I won't live that long. You out there will. You younger people will live to see that happen. And if you don't do it, I'm going to be real pissed off at you. Okay?
All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you've understood now by watching what the founders went through to get where they're at. It all started with a dream. It's moved on to now executive team and amazing employees. You guys, we got the best of the best in the industry. We're just getting started, hitting the tip of the iceberg on where we're going to take this company. So we look forward to you guys joining us in the future on this great vision of taking 7K around the world. And remember, we believe in you.